Hello Capricorn, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that devil card. This is your superpower card. This is the card that sort of represents the Capricorn energy, okay? And this is telling me that the situation in your life right now is concerning the engine of the car, right? Your perhaps vitality, your motivation, your stamina, your endurance, right? How are you holding up? What kind of condition is your engine in right now? Does it need a tune-up? Does it need new spark plugs? Does it need an oil change? Does it need a little bit of clean? Do you need to put some engine cleaner on there, right? What do we need to do to keep ourselves running smoothly? To keep that nice hum, that nice quiet hum of a good engine, yeah? It's also asking kind of what's motivating us right now, right? So I feel like you're kind of on this path of physical healing right now, or a physical restoration. We might be restoring an old car, we might be working on our engine. We might be focused on sort of longevity. We might be thinking, well, what can I do? Because, we're not getting any younger, Some of us may look like we're getting younger, but we're not. So it's never too early or too late to start thinking about our physical well-being and our longevity. So what do we need to do to sort of keep that going? But also, why? What's the motivation here, right? What is driving us toward this sort of physical robustness? Yeah, let's put this card into a little bit of context. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. You've got a Queen of Wands. Very nice. That to me feels like an engine that is like, powerful. We got a Six of Swords underneath. You've got an Eight of Wands. You've got a Knight of Wands. You've got a Knight of Pentacles. Another Capricorn power card. Look at that. This is great. I would buy some lottery tickets if I were you. This is really auspicious. You got both of your power cards. And you have really, really great fire energy, and this Six of Swords, the air energy is really nice too. Over here, you've got a 9. There's that strength, right? There's the vitality of the engine. And a 5 of Cups. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. The Chariot, the fortification, the discipline, the devotion, the loyalty to something, right? And the Tower, yes. To me, the Tower feels like this is like a breakthrough, right? I feel like you're kind of entering a time of your life where you're like the most powerful you've ever been, the strongest, the healthiest you've ever been. I don't care how old you are, right? I'm older than 30. So I like to think that no matter how healthy I've ever been or how healthy I am now, and by health, I just, I mean perhaps our energy levels, our vitality. How strong do we feel? How happy do we feel? Do we feel that we are strong? Do we feel capable? Do I feel like I have a sort of a fitness about me, right? I like to think that my most fit is always going to be somewhere in the future. I can always do better. Right? I think I'm probably in the best shape of my life right now. I know maybe it doesn't look that way. I haven't always made good choices, but I feel like tomorrow I'm going to be even healthier than today. I feel like a year from now I'm going to be even healthier than I am right now. So I feel like you're kind of reaching this a critical mass where you have this momentum. To me, this Tower feels like a rocket ship. It feels like you are blasting off into this future, and this feels really, really good. I feel there is this focus on vitality right now. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We'll set it down over here with our little octopus friend, the Eight of Tentacles. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments. Now, let's look around the room. We see the two major arcana energies. We see Capricorn and Cancer, which, by the way, are two opposite signs. That Cancer energy is your alter ego. It is your shadow kind of side. It is your unconscious self, because Capricorn and Cancer are at opposite ends of the wheel of the zodiac. So it kind of represents all those things that you don't know about yourself or that you didn't think you were capable of. Because the goat, right, the devil is just kind of wild creation. It's just an engine that wants to rev. It doesn't care where it's going, doesn't care how much gas it uses. It's a guzzler, right? It just wants to fire and burn and go, right? The other half of that, of course, is the discipline. We can't just let our creative energy or our vital energy go wherever it wants, anytime it wants, right? We have to be disciplined. In other words, the engine needs a car. The car obviously needs a driver, and that is spirit coming through your sense of agency. And we do have an Aries reference here too with the Knight of Wands. The engine needs a car, okay? And for this engine, we have to make sure the engine is tuned up, but we have to make sure the car also is tuned up. The car, you got to have good tires, got to have good suspension, got to have seat belts, got to have a windshield, steering, cooling, all these things, right? And you also have to have an engine that has gas, has enough gas, and can use that fuel efficiently. So we have it's good stuff here, okay? We got fire, 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 fire. We've got a little bit of water, a little bit of air. And another earth, the power card, right? I love, God, this tower. I'm looking at it. I just keep seeing that tower, and that eye is opened, and it feels like this is discipline that's leading to a massive change in your life. Like really, really, really huge breakthrough kind of change, okay? Major, maybe a transformation. Maybe you're on this path now of sort of physical well-being. Maybe you're hitting the gym every day. Maybe you're focused on what you're eating, and it's going to be absolutely amazing, okay? It's going to be a really big sort of tower moment. And it might be, the tower is kind of these very memorable moments, right? The tower events. So this transformation you're going through, this is like a time in your life where you're going to look back and you're say, that was the moment that everything completely changed for me, you know? And it's not one day, it's not like one overnight kind of transition. It's like this period of time where you're focused on this is leading to such a drastic change in your well-being. I think your overall well-being, now this isn't a medical reading, this is just about vitality and healthy energies, right? This is going to be like years down the road, you're going to say, that's the moment everything changed for me. And of course, I feel like we're going to hit spikes, you know, throughout our life, and we're going to hit these big surges of transformation. So this isn't the last one you'll experience, but this is going to be definitely one you remember, okay? What motivates you, the reason why you want this vitality, why do you want your engine to be powerful? So you can continue doing the things you love to do. Because the Queen of Wands is somebody who is enjoying doing what they do, not for the rewards. I don't work all day just so I can go home and relax in a hot bath. I enjoy what I do. So this is like the engine that's saying, you know, I want to drive because this is where I have fun. This is what feels good. So this is about wanting to continue to do something that we love. Maybe it's family, maybe it's friends, maybe it's your art, your creativity, maybe it's bingo, maybe it's your book club or your church or your, you know, whatever it is, maybe you're crocheting, maybe this is your music, maybe this is your I don't know, writing poetry or your YouTube channel or something. Like, you want to continue to do something for as long as you can. You know, I don't care how old you are. Maybe you're 120 years old. You still want the vitality to keep doing the things in life that you enjoy, because you have this heart inside of you that wants to keep doing it, and doesn't want to burn out. Doesn't want to feel like, you know, I still have this desire to go out and live my life, but my physical body won't let me. Okay? So I feel like you're focused on this kind of stuff, this kind of vitality, because you want to continue to you want to be able to do the things that you always enjoy doing. You're not someone to just sit around and watch TV, you know? I feel like you're out there in the garden. You're out there riding the bicycle, or you're skateboarding, or I don't know, parasailing. And maybe as we get older, things are going to have to change a little bit, and there's going to have to be some kind of concession. But generally, your health is going to continue to improve and improve and improve. Now, again, not a medical reading. I ain't no doctor, right? But you're focused on these things because you're motivated, because you want to live the most active life that you can, and you want to feel like you're capable of that. Yeah. Underneath the surface, you've got a Six of Swords. You have a plan for all of this, right? And this plan is a 6-tiered plan. There's kind of like a 6 steps to wellness, you know? And the plan, I think, consists of healthy eating or intentional eating, intentional movement, adequate sleep, stress reduction, relationships, right? And a sense of purpose. 6, right? Yeah, 6. The 6 pillars, the six points of our divine plan for our own longevity. Okay? And, you know, the intentional eating, right? That's very important too. You have to know what works for you. You have to know what your body wants, what your constitution sort of needs, you know. And we may be talking, you know, medication, supplements, and things like this too, but it has to be all for a purpose. Everything is pointing back to the heart. All of these swords, there's a point to them all. It's not just frivolous or random or just doing it just because. Everything has a purpose. There's a point to it all. If you're eating certain things, there's a reason, there's a point. If you're taking some supplements or vitamins or whatever, there's a point to it. There's a reason why. Okay? And so you have this plan. Now, the plan's not enough. The plan needs action, right? And, of course, we have action up here with our agency, our Aries referenced Knight of Wands. It's fire on fire. There's no thought. There's no hesitation. It's saying, I got the plan. Boom, executing the plan. Watch me go, right? And there's really no hesitation there. There's no overthinking. Like I said, you have the Six of Swords, which is just perfect thought. The perfect amount of air energy, because it's showing that our mind is organized and all the chaos of life. It's like there are a million choices out there. You've come up with a plan that works for you. Out of all the chaos, you've selected those elements that you want to have in your life that you feel are going to be that are going to be conducive to the kind of future that you want. Now we have to act on it. Okay? And that's part of it's part of our fire and earth. This is that electrical circuit of creation, right? That you have an intention, you have a will. You want to have, let's say it's longevity. I want to have longevity. That's my intention. Now I got to do the work to make it happen. So the Knight of Pentacles, which is one of your power cards, is looking at the future and thinking, who am I, where am I, and what am I doing? Short-term, medium-term, long-term futures. This card is in the future. Right? So it's a little bit ironic. It's the card of having the vision of the future, but it's in your future. And what does that mean? Well, Paul, to answer your own question, it means that you're always going to be thinking about the future, that you're always going to be planning for what's coming next in life. You're always going to be, like I said at the beginning, this isn't the last time that you're going to do this. It's our healthiest state is going to always be in front of us. Just like the best day of your life is always in your future. Right? As good as we feel today, I'm going to keep thinking ahead. I'm going to keep working toward a future. I'm going to keep having short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals and working toward them. So it's kind of like, it's not just, I have that vision, okay, and then I'm going to do the thing, but I'm kind of always thinking like that, always thinking ahead, always planning for the long term, so that I make sure that everything I'm doing today, right, all our thoughts, words, and deeds in the present moment is creating our future selves. Okay? You want to be the first person to live till 200 years old. You can be that person, maybe. You've got your planning for that. We're planning long term, and we work our way backwards. We unpack it. We reverse engineer it. We come up with the plan based on what the goals are, you know? Sometimes I used to think, and I've known people that thought this way. They kind of feel like, well, I'm so old, what's the use of planning for anything? I'm planning for a vacation next year, but I'm like 100 years old already. Like, there's no point. What? And I don't like that kind of thought process, because that is kind of like we've already given up, that we've already perished before our days are even over. So when we're 100 years old, I'm going to plan, okay, well, what's my 10-year goal in life? I'm 100 years old. I might not have 10 years left. That's okay. What's my 10-year goal? I'm going to plan for that. I'm going to work for that. And I feel like doing that is it's keeping us youthful. Now, I'm not 100 years old yet, despite what some people might think. But I think we always need to be looking at that. And it's kind of, for me, not to always bring it back to my I don't know, issues. I had a liver transplant about 15 years ago. And I remember when I had just gotten out of the hospital, I didn't think I had much time left. All the doctors said, well, maybe you have 5 or 10 years. It depends, maybe, right? I had a lot of issues, a lot of rejection, a lot of illnesses, and high doses of medication. It was just bad. The quality of life was low, right? Low. And I used to be very pessimistic, and I would think, well, what's the point of making plans? Because I'm probably not even going to have more than a couple years anyway. So, like, what's the point, So I kind of felt like I already gave up, right? But then, I don't know, something clicked in me. I got some visitations from what I consider my guardian angel. And I realized that having that kind of attitude is what is going to lead me to perish in a couple years. So instead, I started making plans for what I wanted to do in 5 years, what I wanted to do in 10 years, what I was going to do 20 years from now, right? And I'm still working toward it. And so it kind of gives you this sense of purpose, really keeps us motivated. So I feel like you're motivated by a sense of purpose, and all of the other things, the intentional eating, the intentional movement, the sleeping, the stress reduction, the sort of substance management, sort of doing the positive. When I say substance management, I basically mean that we're trying to take in as much of the good stuff as we can and trying to minimize the bad stuff that we're taking in energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, okay? Trying to limit the bad stuff and do more of the good stuff, yeah? All of that surrounding this central purpose, yeah, the motivation, that sense of purpose, whatever you're driven by, right? And I think we're driven by wanting to spend time with our friends and family, wanting to continue to enjoy our hobbies or continue to work toward building our empire, right? Whatever it might be for you. The 8 of Wands in the background, you weren't always this conscious, though, were you? Because this to me feels like it's fireworks, just little flashes that happen. And this is kind of like no regard for our energy. It kind of feels like this is, I don't know, a little bit more spontaneous, I guess, but almost just kind of sporadic. It's too sporadic. There was no real plan to things. That we just sort of, when we felt something, we would do it. It's more impulsive, and it's less structured and less organized. So I feel like there was a time where we didn't really take this stuff seriously. Well, maybe when we're young, we don't have to. Maybe when we're younger, the energy's just there. If I want to do something, I go do it. I'm not worried about this kind of thing. But as we get older, we realize that we need to take it a little bit more seriously, that eventually the energy will start to diminish, and we've got to take some steps now to make sure that the energy decline either slows down or reverses altogether. Okay? Now, the point I am in life, I feel like maybe everything's downhill from here, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. The best years of our life can still be in front of us. The healthiest, most robust, and most vital years of our life can still be in front of us. Okay? So, Path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about this stuff now. Your 9 of Wands is returning, the strength, right? The power of the engine. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free. You're wearing a little necklace, right? Like it's a gold, I don't know if it's a religious thing, but it's a little gold chain with a little, I don't know if it's a crucifix or something or some kind of a spiritual symbol, but it's like a yellow gold, yeah. The 9 of Wands is the horsepower in the engine. How much vitality do we have, right? And this is kind of what we're measuring. What's my energy level? What's my strength like? Because that's a pretty good marker for our general well-being, right? This is a connection with a purpose. And I feel that when we are connected with our purpose, our energy level will rise. When we have a purpose behind what we're doing, when we kind of feel like there's a deeper purpose that's connecting everything in our lives, the energy that we need to do that, to sustain that, to live that, is going to rise. We'll rise to the occasion. That's where our strength comes from, right? The connection to purpose. And so this seems to be your general energy now. And so I feel like already, before we've even begun too much of the work, you're feeling a surge of energy. It's like we are motivated to get this longevity, sort of vitality, I'm not sure if you're dealing with a chronic health condition or not. Now, this isn't replacing any kind of medical advice or anything like that, okay? I have to be clear about that. The Five of Cups here, I feel like you've been more emotional lately. Like you were crying during a commercial or something like that. There's something, it's almost humorous, but you were brought to tears by something like a TV commercial or I don't know. Spirit's sending something like that through here. Also, Spirit's telling me that you have an app on your phone that you're using for a lot of this to sort of stay organized. I don't know if it's like a fitness app or something like that, right? The Five of Cups is in the position of the relationships. And I think that a big motivating factor is that we love the people we're with. We love our life. We love our spouse, our family, friends, the coworkers, like the people in our neighborhood or at church or at the community center, at the library. We love that, and we don't want to lose that. We don't want to miss that. So it's like we want to hang around this manifested plane for as long as we can because we enjoy being connected with other people. So it sort of breaks our heart that we might have to leave some of our loved ones behind one day. Well, let's make that day distant future, hundreds of years from now. Let's do it, okay? Because I feel like that is a strong motivator for you, that you want to continue to love your people the way you do, like your pets, your plants, your people, We feel such a connection with those people that it's sort of the idea of not getting to spend time doing things we love with the people we love, that's kind of a heartbreak. So let's just not do it. Let's not let that happen, We do need the discipline and the fortification of the Chariot. We have to make sure the Chariot is in good working order. I think you have a very intense spiritual practice, and that kind of goes in with the six pillars of our plan here. We didn't specifically talk about the spiritual practice, but I feel like it's all the spiritual practice, right? The intentional movement, the intentional eating, intentional sleeping, the stress reduction, and the sense of purpose, and the relationships. I feel like that's all kind of the spiritual practice. But this card might be kind of talking more about that spiritual practice. Because we have to take care of the body, but we have to take care of the mind and the spirit too. And I think the body is the foundation. So I feel like you have either a yoga routine or stretching or like meditation that kind of bridges between the physical and the mental and the spiritual. It kind of brings everything together in this alignment. This could be the spine, and this could be you sitting in meditation, okay? Realizing that that getting back into a meditation practice, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes a day, is really, really important for you. And it changes your entire day. Just that 5 minutes of sitting still with your eyes closed changes your complete day, okay? I feel like this is a lot of also physical activity within your comfort level, and talk to your doctor and all that stuff. As a way of just strengthening our body so that we are resistant to injury and we're protected a little bit against the injury and illness kind of stuff, yeah? So strengthening the Chariot so that it can house the engine, right? And we can continue moving forward. The Tower, and I still can't get over this Tower. This is a surge of energy and vitality and power for you. It feels like it's a big time awakening, right? And, we could look at all these cards as sort of being related to a Kundalini type awakening, but I feel like it's a surge of vitality that it's almost like overnight. It's almost like we wake up one morning and suddenly we feel like we're 20 years old again. Okay? And maybe doesn't happen quite that fast, but I feel like we are returning to or arriving at the best possible energy level that we've ever had. Okay? And so I feel that this is like, I don't know, I feel like you've never quite experienced anything like this. Okay? I almost feel like you used to drink a lot of coffee, but like me, you stopped. I stopped drinking any caffeine. I'm caffeine free now for the last maybe week or two. I kind of feel like you did the same thing, or you did something similar. Okay? Because I feel like you're very focused on holistic remedies. You're very focused on herbal things, maybe plant medicine. I feel like you're very into that nature, that really earthy kind of healing. Yeah, I expect the mystery card to be the Empress. But let's see. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's take a look. The Four of Wands. That's okay. That's good. Four of Wands is very good because a couple of things. First of all, it shows that we're arriving at a goal. Okay, it shows that we need to have short-term goals and medium-term and long-term, but we need to have the short-term ones specifically so that we can check them off the list. Because by checking things off a list, it reinforces us. It keeps us motivated. It keeps us organized, keeps your mind engaged, right? And lets you see your progress in real time, day to day. Okay? And then, of course, we can check off the medium-term and the long-term goals too. But the day-to-day, if you're doing bullet journaling or you're doing some kind of an app on your phone, make a list of habits or something so that you can check them off your list. Because that's going to be a visible sign of progress. Okay? This card is also about taking the mundane, routine, robotic, habitual things that we do, eating a healthy meal, getting some exercise, all that kind of stuff like that. The routine things, the habits that you're trying to implement into your life need to become holy tasks. They need to become rituals, And some people have a problem with the word ritual, but whatever. A ritual is basically just a sacred routine, right? So we're taking our habitual routines and we're making them sacred. We're instilling them with purpose. We're infusing them with holiness. You're speaking your prayers or your mantra, or you're invoking that divine energy. You're bringing the crystals into it. You're bringing the magic into it and making it a holy task. Okay? And so everything is being infused with that spiritual energy. Yeah, this is really, I like this. We're going to do an extended reading too if you want to stick around. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner and there's a link down below. New readings for Capricorn, usually on Thursdays and Sundays, but I feel like we needed to talk about this, and I'm very happy that we did as a bonus reading. Okay, so be sure to watch your other readings as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. The readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.